and welcome. I am Pranay Upadhyaya and you are watching Namaste World, your daily window into the biggest stories shaping India and the world. We begin in East Africa. India strengthens maritime ties with Seychelles, boosting Indo-Pacific security and countering China's influence. Back in States, James Fishback's anti-H-1B stance sparks United States debate over immigration, tech, jobs and fairness. Across the border in Pakistan, Mufti Noor Wali Mahsood revives TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, intensifying Pakistan-Afghanistan tensions and regional instability. In Bangladesh, Terence Jackson's mysterious Dhaka death sparks global spy intrigue amid rising United States-Russia-India tensions. And in East Asia, President Donald Trump's Asia tour cements new US-Malaysia-Japan trade and defense pacts, bolstering alliances and setting the stage for crucial talks with China amid global economic tensions. All that and more. Global flashpoints, power plays and stories that matter. Coming up today in Namaste World. President Donald Trump is midway through his first major Asia tour since returning to the White House. A 5-day whirlwind diplomatic push spanning Malaysia, Japan and South Korea. His longest overseas journey this term amid escalating United States tensions in trade with China and a domestic governance shutdown. In Tokyo today, Trump lavished praises on Japan's first female Prime Minister, Sene Takaichi, a protege of his late friend Shinzo Abe, calling her one of the greatest prime ministers and congratulating her historic milestone. The leaders signed landmark deals on trade, critical minerals and rare earths to counter China's dominance, while Takaichi pledged to nominate President Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize for his global ceasefire and vowed to fast-track Japan's defense spending to 2% of GDP. Japan announced up to $400 billion in potential United States deals. Investments in energy, AI and minerals, plus Toyota's $10 billion commitments to new American auto plants. Trump received heartfelt gifts honoring Abe, including a signed golf bag, met families of North Korean abductees and reaffirming United States solidarity, and rallied around 6,000 sailors aboard USS George Washington, announcing imminent F-35 missile deliveries. Building on earlier pacts in Malaysia for mineral cooperation with Cambodia and Thailand and Vietnam, the trip sets the stage for Thursday's high-stakes summit with the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the APEC gathering in South Korea. Trump expressed optimism en route, saying that negotiations are on and he hoped for a fantastic framework to de-escalate the trade war, potentially averting around 100% tariffs on Chinese exports and finalizing a TikTok deal, moves hailed as a boon for global markets. India's Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan's visit to Seychelles underscores New Delhi's expanding strategic footprints in Western Indian Ocean and reinforcing its maritime security alliances and countering China's growing influence across vital Indo-Pacific sea lanes.
India's Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan recently wrapped up a key visit to Seychelles. His meeting with Seychelles' newly elected President Patrick Hermini underlined something far more strategic: India's growing focus on the Western Indian Ocean. So, why does this tiny island nation with barely 100,000 people matter so much to a regional giant like India? The Indian Ocean isn't just a beautiful blue expanse. It's a global lifeline. About 80% of the world's oil trade and over half of all container traffic passes through its waters. Stretching from Africa's east coast to Australia's west, it connects Asia, Africa and West Asia to Europe and the Americas. Seychelles sits like a small but strategic outpost in the Western Indian Ocean, right along critical shipping routes. For India, which depends heavily on maritime trade and energy imports, Seychelles is a natural partner for securing the sea lanes that keep its economy running. Seychelles gives India a vantage point to monitor everything from piracy and illegal fishing to foreign naval movements in a region where China has been steadily expanding its footprint, including a naval base in nearby Djibouti. So, strengthening ties with Seychelles isn't just friendly diplomacy, it's strategic foresight. Vice President Radhakrishnan attended President Harmini's swearing-in ceremony, conveyed Prime Minister Modi's invitation to visit India, and met leaders including Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. He also addressed a gathering of the Indian origin community members in Seychelles.
The Indian diaspora in Seychelles is one of the engines of the resilience and stability. Your drive, diligence, discipline, and diversity make us all proud. This is the greatest character of Indian diaspora anywhere in the world. Wherever we are with them. We are preserving our culture, but we know how to mingle with them. We always contribute to the development of that country, and we always maintain the discipline. Your contribution to the nation building of Seychelles is commendable.
India's approach to the Indian Ocean is captured in Prime Minister Modi's vision of Mahasagar, mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across regions.
Vice President called on the newly sworn-in President, Dr. Ermini, and conveyed to him greetings and good wishes from the people and government of India. He underlined to him India's intent and desire to further the long-standing ties of kinship and cooperation between India and Seychelles. He especially expressed his desire to strengthen relations in all of the areas of Seychelles' priorities insofar as its development is concerned, particularly in the areas of health, education, energy, transport, and of course maritime security.
Seychelles is a key partner in Modi's Mahasagar vision. India has helped Seychelles patrol its vast exclusive economic zone, trained its Coast Guard personnel, and even donated aircraft and ships for maritime surveillance. Joint naval exercises, coordinated patrols, and intelligence sharing have made the partnership a practical one, not just paperwork and press statements. By working together, the two nations ensure that sea lanes stay safe from piracy, illegal fishing, and smuggling, threats that don't just affect one country, but the entire Indian Ocean community. For Seychelles, India remains a reliable partner, not one that seeks dominance, but one that offers genuine development support and shared prosperity. For India, Seychelles is more than a dot on the map. It's a strategic anchor in a turbulent ocean, vital for keeping sea routes open and influence balanced. Seychelles is not just India's neighbor across the ocean, it's a partner in shaping the Indian Ocean's future. Because in the grand chessboard of the Indo-Pacific, even the smallest islands can hold the biggest strategic value. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
Former Doge architect and Azoria Partner CEO James Fishback sparks controversy by urging a halt to hiring Indians under the H-1B visa program and reigniting America's fierce debate over immigration, tech jobs, and labor fairness.
James Fishback, once hailed as a tech visionary behind Elon Musk's Doge Checks program for the Department of Government Efficiency, is now at the center of a national storm. The Azoria Partner CEO has gone from government insider to lightning rod after publicly calling for the dismantling of America's H-1B visa system. In a fiery post on X, Fishback declared, "Stop importing Indians, hire American graduates." His remarks aimed squarely at Florida companies using Indian H-1B workers. It quickly ignited outrage across the tech world and beyond.
To the foreigners around the world who have dreamed, who have even prayed to be able to come to America and have a shot at the American dream, my advice to you is stay where you are. Make your country great. Your country needs smart, brave, brilliant people. Brave, not the kind of bravery that says I'm going to get on a boat and storm the southern border. Not the kind of bravery that says I'm going to overstay my student visa or overstay my traveler's visa. Not the kind of bravery that says I'm going to abandon my own country for America because they have a better social safety net. The bravery that says that God gave me and my family this country, whether that is in South America or East Africa or South Asia, it doesn't matter. The bravery to stay where you are, to use your God-given skills and talents and abilities to turn your country into something that you are proud of. The truth is that the next chapter of American history will be written by Americans. We are teaming with Americans from all walks of life. In my home state of Florida, graduates from FIU, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU, UCF, FSU, UF, the list goes on. We've got retirees who want to get into the classroom and inspire, motivate, and educate the next generation of students in public schools, in charter schools, in Catholic schools. It doesn't matter. But America is for Americans, just like Haiti is for Haitians or Kenya is for Kenyans. We don't go to your country and impose and take up space and want your jobs and want your schools and want your healthcare. And all that we ask to those around the world is respect our sovereignty. All we ask to the companies in America, the so-called American companies, is to respect our sovereignty.
Fishback isn't just talking tough. He's turning words into investment policy, rejecting companies that depends on H-1B labor, especially those employing Indian nationals. He argues US firms have grown addicted to cheap foreign talent and should focus on automation and American graduates instead. But the backlash came fast. Regulators and financial partners reportedly moved against Azoria Partners, even delisting one of its funds. Fishback calls it ideological retaliation, claiming powerful interests are punishing him for challenging the visa status quo. Once a close Musk collaborator, Fishback broke ranks in June after criticizing Musk's clash with President Trump. Now he's aligned with Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, who have both pushed for stricter immigration and automation-first economic strategies. The timing is crucial. Indian nationals make up nearly 3/4 of all H-1B visas, and Trump's new $100,000 fee per application has already slowed arrivals. Critics like Fishback say it's time to prioritize Americans. Defenders counter that immigrant talent fuels the innovation economy. Either way, Fishback's blunt message, saying stop importing Indians, has reopened a raw debate at the heart of US tech, finance and immigration. With Srijita Sen Mojumdar, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
Mufti Noor Wali Mahsood, Pakistan's most wanted militant, has revived the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan into a deadly insurgent force, escalating cross-border tensions with Afghanistan and pushing the region towards a renewed instability and violence.
Pakistan's most wanted jihadist, Noor Wali Mahsood, has rebuilt his militant empire, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, from the ashes and is now pushing the country into a deadly new conflict. Not with a foreign power, but with its own former allies across the border in Afghanistan. To him, the Afghan Taliban's return to power wasn't just political change, it was divine victory, a signal that his own war against Pakistan's army could be won. Born in 1978 in South Waziristan, Mahsood grew up on the battlefields of jihad. Trained in madrasas across Pakistan, he crossed into Afghanistan in the 1990s to fight alongside the Taliban against Ahmad Shah Massoud's Northern Alliance. After 9/11 and the US invasion, he returned to Pakistan carrying the Taliban's ideology back home. When the Pakistani army began operations to root out Al-Qaeda and foreign fighters, Mahsood saw it as a betrayal. He called it an assault on Pashtun honor and a violation of tribal codes of hospitality. That resentment gave birth to the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, the TTP, a coalition of tribal jihadists that would soon declare war on Islamabad itself. In his own book, Inqilab-e-Mahsood, Mahsood even claimed the TTP carried out the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto in 2007, a mid-level commander back then. He described in chilling detail how the bomber struck and why Bhutto's return, he believed, was part of an American plan against the Mujahideen. After the death of TTP chief Mullah Fazlullah, he became emir of the Pakistani Taliban. Under his leadership, the group reorganized, fractured cells were reunited, a new manifesto issued, and the focus shifted squarely onto Pakistan's army. This was now a disciplined jihad aimed at the military establishment that Mahsood blames for Pakistan's suffering. As he said in one interview, Our real war is against the army. Political governments are its slaves. The Afghan Taliban stormed back to power in Kabul in August 2021. And to Masood, it was divine proof that patience and faith could defeat empires. Suddenly, Pakistan, which had once celebrated the Taliban's return, was facing the blowback of its own creation. Over the last few years, TTP attacks have surged across Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and beyond. Pakistan accuses the Afghan Taliban of sheltering Masood and his men. Earlier this month, Islamabad launched airstrikes inside Kabul, reportedly targeting him. He survived, but dozens were killed, sparking the worst cross-border clashes in years. For now, Noor Wali Masood is still out there, defiant and far from finished. With Shijita Sen Mojumdar, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
The mysterious death of American national Terrence Jackson in a Dhaka hotel has ignited global intrigue, raising suspicions of a covert spy operation amid escalating intelligence tensions involving the United States, Russia, India, and Bangladesh.
On August 31st, inside a luxury 5-star hotel in Bangladesh, an American citizen was found dead under mysterious circumstances. His name, Terrence Arvale Jackson, and what began as a local tragedy has now spiraled into a geopolitical mystery. Social media is exploding with speculation. Some claim a dark conspiracy was underway, one targeting India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and even Russia. Others allege Jackson was a CIA operative, eliminated by Russian intelligence in a secret operation. To be clear, these claims are unverified. But what is confirmed, an American national died mysteriously on Bangladeshi soil, and what followed stunned the region. Here's why. On that same day, August 31st, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was on an official visit to China for the SCO summit. A day later, Russian President Vladimir Putin broke all diplomatic protocol to personally drive Modi from his hotel in Tianjin. That moment, broadcast worldwide, raised eyebrows. Observers began to wonder, was Putin protecting Modi? And was the incident in Bangladesh connected? Soon, after the death of Terrence Jackson became the center of intense online debate, several users claimed that Jackson was part of a covert US network operating in Bangladesh, allegedly plotting against India, Russia, or both. Some reports suggest Jackson had links to US Special Forces, but the most suspicious part, his body was handed over to the US Embassy without a post-mortem or any formal investigation. That single act set off alarm bells across South Asia. Indian intelligence agencies are now seeking answers. Who was Terrence Jackson really? Who did he meet in Bangladesh? And what was his mission there? Reports indicate Indian agencies believe he might have been operating near the Bangladesh-Myanmar border, an area sensitive to India's security interests. There are concerns he could have been building networks to destabilize India's northeastern states, a region already on high alert due to insurgent activity and refugee movements. It doesn't end there. Just days after Jackson's death, Bangladesh saw another strange event: a massive fire at Dhaka International Airport. The blaze destroyed equipment meant for Russia's Rupur nuclear power plant, one of Moscow's biggest energy projects in South Asia. The losses were significant, and the timing highly suspicious. Could it be connected to Jackson's activities, or was it part of a wider intelligence battle between Washington and Moscow, with Dhaka caught in the middle? To understand this tangled web, we need to rewind a bit. Before Jackson's death, former US Ambassador Peter Haas had made 6 visits to Bangladesh within a year. On August 5th, has reportedly met leaders of groups active in the country's recent political movements. Where did that meeting happen? Cox's Bazar, home to the world's largest Rohingya refugee camp. And that's important because the Rohingya issue sits at the intersection of Bangladesh, Myanmar, India, and US regional strategy. Adding to the intrigue, American military personnel were reportedly spotted in Chittagong, Bangladesh's key port city. Together, they appear to be quietly building an intelligence network, possibly under the cover of training or aid operations. Jackson's death may have silenced one operative, but intelligence circles believe his team could still be active in the country. And as investigators piece together this mystery, one pattern emerges: a growing shadow war of influence in South Asia. On one side, the United States, expanding its presence across the Bay of Bengal. On the other, Russia and India, deepening strategic ties through defense and nuclear cooperation. Bangladesh now finds itself walking a tightrope between competing powers. What exactly happened inside that Dhaka hotel room on August 31st remains unknown. But what's clear is that Terence Arville Jackson's death has triggered a series of questions that go far beyond Bangladesh. Was this just a tragic death abroad, or the tip of an unseen geopolitical operation involving spy networks, rare earth politics, and greater power play? For now, all we have are rumors, coincidences, and silence. But as intelligence agencies dig deeper, the truth behind the mystery in Dhaka may not stay buried for long. Bureau Report, India Today Global.
As we wrap up this edition of Namaste World, here is a quick look at the top stories making waves around the world today. From breakthroughs in technology and businesses to political developments and natural disasters. Stay tuned as we bring you the latest updates, key developments, and everything you need to know. Amazon to cut 14,000 corporate jobs amid major cost-saving restructuring. Toxic smog engulfs Lahore as AQI hits hazardous 422, prompting health warnings. Record crowd at Emirates Loves India forces Dubai's Zabil Park to close gates and issue apologies. Malaysia passes ASEAN chairmanship to the Philippines as Kuala Lumpur summit ends. Gaza screens Qatir Ben Hania's Voice of Hind Rajab amid Dair al-Bala ruins.